What's going on, guys? I'm gonna walk Marley. Let's get it. Hope your day is good, by the way. Yeah, Marley. Look at this. Look at you. Where's your leash? Fuck. Hold on. You're trying to find the loop. There we go. Okay, go. That's right, buddy. Get out there. Anyways, guys. Hope your day has been good. You know, mine's been pretty chill. This is how I know I found a really good job. I work tomorrow. I just got done having my weekend, and I'm not even dreading going to work. Whereas before in the past, I'd be dreading work. Like, I don't want to go to work tomorrow. Fuck. Now it's like, oh, look at it. I dyed my hair. I added more pink highlights in it, magenta. Looks pretty good. But I would always dread going to work after the weekends, and now that I have this job that I actually enjoy, it's more of an excitement. You know, I don't dread it. Now, don't get me wrong. There's people that work the job because I'm an Amazon delivery driver, right? There's many people who probably dread the fuck out of going to that job, you know? But, I mean, it's perception. I see it as a game. I'm sitting there driving, delivering packages, playing the part. I view it as a game, you know? So it's less of a drag for me. I'd rather do that than work at a warehouse. Fuck that, you know? Or work at some fast food or some restaurant. I don't know. But, you know, I've had many jobs. I worked as a dishwasher, as a cook at a restaurant, a waiter, a server. I've worked at McDonald's, Jack in the Box, all these fast food places. I've worked at warehouses. I worked at Costco, which is a fucking store. If you don't know what that is, it's a store, retail store, whatever. But you know, of all these places, and I finally found a job that I actually enjoy. That's just so great. But that being said, it's easier for me to do what I want to do because I don't feel as drained with this job. And because I don't feel as drained with this job, I'm noticing it's easier for me to get home and make videos, make music, because I'm not so burnt out or drained. You know, don't get me wrong, it can be physically exhausting what I'm doing. Because you're just getting out in the truck, and then sometimes you're lifting heavy shit, not always. But I mean, if you work out, I see it as a workout, right? So, I don't know. That's just a little rant. Some little vintage. That's obviously not the video of today. Say hello, moon. No, today's video is about something deeper. It's about how you don't hate discipline. It's not that. Well, actually, that was the last video. But really, it's about how you're not tired. And that's literally actually what I just said. I'm not tired anymore. Right? I finally found a job that I enjoy, so I'm not burned out. I'm not overstimulated. Also, I'm not overstimulated because I'm not constantly consuming bullshit. Sure, there'll be periods where I watch a good Netflix movie, a little series, whatever, but for the main part, I'm making videos and making music. So my treat to myself is a good movie, sure. But I'm not doing it before. Like, I'm not consuming over my dreams. I'm prioritizing my dreams. You know, my craft over the entertainment. Fuck that, you know, that can wait. You know, we got shit to do. But it's like, you're not overstimulated. Or sorry, you are overstimulated. You're not tired. You're just mentally exhausted. You're mentally overstimulated. And once you guys realize that, you're going to stop trying to fix it the wrong way. Because most people think that they're exhausted. You know what I mean? They think that they need more sleep, more rest, more time off. But the real problem isn't physical. It's mental. I mean, like, look at your day. You know what I mean? Are you constantly scrolling? or notifications constantly popping up. You're always on your phone. Music's always playing. Video is always running in the background. Always on Netflix, You're always consuming something, right? And that's why I always say it's about creation over consumption. Producing over consumption, I should say. Your brain never truly gets a break if you're always consuming. And even when you're quote unquote relaxing, you're still taking in information. If you're on your phone, sitting on the couch, and over time that overload builds up. So you're going to feel drained, you're going to feel tired, overstimulated, burnt out. Not because you did too much, you didn't do enough, but because you simply processed too much. Too much noise, too much input, too much stimulation. And now, silence is going to feel uncomfortable, Being alone with your thoughts can feel strange, but that's exactly what your mind needs, your soul needs. Space, stillness, meditation, a break, reflection, right? A break from constant input, constant stimuli. Because clarity never came from more information, it comes from less. So understand you're not tired, you're overstimulated. So unplug for a bit, take a breather, and watch how your energy comes back to you. You're gonna thank yourself, And we're in a day and age where a lot of parents will give their kids a phone, an iPad, an Xbox, whatever, at the age of 4. Because it's a babysitter, it's a free babysitter. And you take it away, what do? They start crying, having a temper tantrum. So and then later in their adulthood, it can get worse. So really, you gotta teach your kids to not rely on consuming, Teach them to reflect and breathe and be alone with their thoughts. Because if we're always consuming, we're gonna let ourselves be programmed like a mindless robot, Hell no. You didn't incarnate here to have this human experience, to just consume and be a robot. You're not an NPC, right? Which is like in a video game. It's those robots and it's the side characters that aren't real people playing. You are a soul and you are here to create and chase your dreams, not to settle for less. Obviously, you're going to feel drained and depressed and stressed if you're just scrolling on the... Dude, it's crazy, though. You can be on the bus. You can be on the subway. You look next over. What's that person doing? Scrolling on TikTok. Barely even watching one video for 3 seconds. Because they're getting a little form of dopamine hit just by scrolling. Where if you were just listening to your soul and chasing your dreams and doing shit that you love, that little burst of dopamine that you get from scrolling, you would get naturally from you chasing your dreams. But except it wouldn't be a quick burst of dopamine hit. It would be a longer lasting dopamine and serotonin hit. That's really what you're craving. So through unawareness, we're gonna look for these dopamine hits and fake stuff, alcohol, drugs, consuming, video games, whatever. But when you awaken to who you are, to your soul, you're gonna avoid those egoic desires. The temporary satisfaction in the physical plane. And you're gonna search for a deeper meaning. For me, it's making music, making these videos. Now I no longer crave physical desire. In a relationship, obviously I crave that. That's what I'm talking about. I don't crave temporary physical dopamine hits, like just scrolling, drinking, doing drugs. Even eating bad could be the form of dopamine. Like a little drug, like eating sugar all the time, It could be a form of you indulging in physical, temporary desires, you know. So that's why it's up to you that you have to go within yourself and see what really makes you excited for life. What makes you excited? What feels like you? Like, when I think of me doing music and making videos like these, I'm like, yeah, that's me, you know, and I get a feeling of excitement. So as you awaken, you'll see that the things that you used to do, they would only please the ego. The quick little instant gratification, short bursts of dopamine, all that just dissipates. And you search for deeper meaning, deeper purpose. And through you acting on your meaning and purpose, you'll notice that you'll feel way better than you've ever felt with instant gratification and those short burst dopamine hits, you know? Trust me. Been there, done that. But it's once you listen and finally start doing what you love doing, you're going to feel high on life naturally. So go within. What are you waiting for, you know? What do you want to do? You got this. Just put the phone down, put the video games down for a bit. Don't be afraid to sit alone in your thoughts, because we may have thoughts, but we're not the thoughts. We are the observer. And you can detach. You can separate yourself. You can change your story. You have the power. But without further ado, guys, that was tonight's video. Namaste, lady. He's a teddy. Say goodnight, Marlar. Marley Bear. He says goodnight. See you tomorrow, guys.